So the one thing about Indy 5 that could have at least made it a little bit more tolerable is if we took out Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Helena Shaw. If they had done that, I think it wouldn't have necessarily cured the movie, but it would have absolutely made the movie a little bit more watchable and a little bit more, of course, tolerable from start to finish while actually seeing this thing. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into exactly what's up with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Now, we do know that she's been in a very rough patch right now between what's been going on between herself and Disney and how she recently got fired from the Lando series as L337, as we reported just yesterday, and everything that has been happening behind closed doors between the board, Bob Iger, and Kathleen Kennedy trying to exclude her, or of course part of the board trying to exclude her from an Indy 5 sequel, as that is still currently in development, even though I believe that's never going to see the light of day. But moving onwards here, one thing that we do know about when it comes to people out there like Bob Iger, Kathy Kennedy, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is they like to cast blame on the fans. They always like to downplay the fans from what it seems like, and we are always the root of the problem of many different scenarios. Now, we know that Bob Iger and the board are in a constant shakeup now, ever since, of course, the financial freeze has been taking place for Indiana Jones 5. It's really not looking good right now, and especially it's going to come to a complete halt once Mission Impossible 7 debuts in theaters on July 11th. However, right now with those like Kathy Kennedy and Phoebe Waller-Bridge upselling Indy 5 as much as they can to save this film. However, recently Phoebe Waller, of course, was able to deliver something very specific about the collapse of Indy 5's box office by delivering the following. I would advise everyone to not trust the media outlets and Hollywood trades because everything I love and everything is over-exaggerated, but we have noticed a slight pause in the box office return for this film, and we put full blame on the toxic community of so-called fans that are just posers trying to halt our success for a film that we worked so hard on. We all still have full belief that we will near the 1 billion mark worldwide for Dial of Destiny, but the real issue is these posers that are not fans creating issues for other fans that put their beliefs and judgment on a film based on reviews before seeing a movie. That is our problem that we are dealing with right now. That is absolutely irresponsible and childish by the community that claims that they are fans for the Indiana Jones franchise. Now guys, before I get to the next thing about what Phoebe is describing here, is that basically what this all translates to is that passionate fans that grew up with the original trilogy of Indiana Jones that don't like the direction of Dial of Destiny, well then you're a poser. You're a fake fan then. This is nothing different than what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi for people that raised their concerns with that movie and how he called them man babies. Literally. And James Mangold did the same exact thing, as well as Phoebe Waller-Bridge, calling them basement dwellers and man babies as well. It's just flat out ridiculous that this is the level of Hollywood icons or people associated with Disney and or Lucasfilm saying these things to their audience, to their customers. We are their wallets. And they literally just feel that they have the authority to do stuff like that. Now, we know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge has always been a very unlikable actress. I mean, this has been from day one. She was never a likable actress. Now, we've heard a lot of things about her involvement in Alien Romulus as an android named Rook. That's been an ongoing thing, back and forth, up and down. But one thing about Disney right now is that they really are in a lot of trouble with the failure of Elemental, with the failure of Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, that's going to close, by the way, this September, and now we got Indy 5, and everything that has been happening with Star Wars. They are now heavily relying on Haunted Mansion come July 28th, correct me if I'm wrong if that's not the date. Then you have the Marvels, Wish, and all of those movies combined are basically the life support for Bob Iger as the CEO of Disney. That's what the board is basing it all on. Moving onwards here, she goes on to continue, it has nothing to do with diversity, equality, and female empowerment in this film. That has to do with the box office reports that you are seeing on social media. It all has to do with these naysayers convincing others to not see our fine piece of art that James, Stephen, and Kathy worked so very hard on for years to really put this together. Also, we could have done a better job with our marketing strategy. It's also these loud and opinionated minority of fake fans that are the ones that should keep quiet and let others make their own decisions. And I also advise nobody to trust the media outlets with the box office performing poorly for this film. We have been tracking this film to have a very successful course for the weeks to come, regardless of upcoming films and their releases. It's just the time that we live in where fake fans are the real problem for how a film performs at moments, but we see this as a temporary snag for Dial of Destiny on our end. So guys, what Phoebe is basically saying is that she is both admitting and also denying that the box office is failing for Indiana Jones 5 without really saying either or. I mean, it's kind of contradictory, but what she basically is admitting here is that, yeah, this movie is failing, and she thinks it's because of people like us either not seeing this movie or raising our concern about this film that may be radiating to other fans that are basing their decision on seeing this movie based on our opinions. Now look, for example, I'm not, telling you guys to see it or to not see it. If you guys want to see it, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you on that. I really am not. In fact, you're welcome to actually say that in the comments. Please feel welcome about that. But one thing about Phoebe Waller-Bridge is that everything is some kind of ulterior motive. Everything is some kind of tactic to become a little bit more personable or a little bit more, containing a better image, whatever it may be. She always has some kind of move like she's playing chess here when it comes to the PR and everything with, promoting a film, stuff like that. She understands this because she's a creator herself, or at least, she thinks she is. I think that she did a terrible job with Fleabag, but we know that everything is moving in line here with Indy 5. Mission Impossible is going to crush it at the box office. It's going to be basically a financial killer once it arrives on July 11th. I mean, you're going to see the Indy 5 showtimes tumble like you have never seen before. It may even be on the level of The Flash, where they have to pull these movies out of theaters at an expedited rate. It may very well come to that level. Now, the other thing about this that I think fans really need to be very well aware of is the fact that Bob Iger is trying to actually extend the release of Indiana Jones 5 in a desperate attempt to compete against Mission Impossible 7. We talked about this in the last post. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out, it's a very complex thing that's happening between himself and the board. He's not in the very best spot right now. In fact, he's in a lot of trouble, and Iger's time at Disney is dwindling month by month. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below what you guys have to say about all of this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.